I'm Michael Maxwell, I'm Chairman of the EU Chic Advisory Committee. I think EU Chic is an important project because if you look at how the construction industry operates across many countries, almost half the activity is spent on conserving, repairing and maintaining the existing built heritage. To do that, we need information and we need knowledge.
I'm Wolfgang Kippers. I am partner in the EU Chic project and I'm end user in this project. I'm running the Palace of Schönbrunn in Vienna.
Antonia Moropoulou, Professor and Vice Rector at the National Technical University of Athens.
My name is Rand Epic. I'm an architect and I'm at Tegnalia Research and Innovation in Spain. And we've been a member of this consortium of EU Chic for 3 years.
My name is Marta Quaranta. I am a research fellow at the University of Bologna, and I work in the team headed by Professor Rocco Mazzeo in the Microchemistry and Microscopy Art Diagnostic Laboratory.
Monika Jedlińska, working at the Academy of Fine Arts in Warsaw, Poland, Faculty of Conservation and Restoration of Works of Art.
Hello, I am Jan Válek from Czech Academy of Sciences. I work for a research institute which is interested in cultural heritage, or has been interested in research and development actions or activities which are supporting protection of monuments and preserving of cultural heritage.
My name is Johanna Reisner. I'm working at the Fraunhofer Gesellschaft in Brussels office, and I'm working there for many years in the field of cultural heritage.
My name is Roberto Di Giulio. I'm a professor at the University of Ferrara. I'm the head of the Department of Architecture since 2006.
My name is Jochen Keferhaus. I'm a planning of cultural heritage and zero emission houses.
I'm Sergio Lagomarsino from the University of Genoa, and my research field is the structural analysis and seismic behavior of historical masonry buildings and strengthening techniques for the mitigation of the risk.
Alfredo Ronchi, Secretary General of the Medici Frame of Cooperation and Professor at Politecnico di Milano. I am one of the advisors of the EU Chic project.
I'm Vlad Karadzic, Professor in Structural Engineering, working at the University of Zagreb, Croatia.
My name is Barbara Vodopivec and I am from the University of Ljubljana, Slovenia, that is coordinator of the EU Chic project.
I'm Roko Žarnić from University of Ljubljana, Slovenia. I'm also the coordinator of EU Coordinate Action European Cultural Heritage Identity Card.
I'm Jacques Akerboom. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm director of an organization called Monumentenwacht, and we care about the preventive maintenance of the monuments in the Netherlands.
Nowadays, when the tremendous development of informatics technologies and affordable instruments and devices of a collection of enormous quantity of data, the question of efficient system of their preservation became one of the important issues. Can the information technologies offer as efficient preservation of data as carving or natural or artificial ceramics? Before dealing with this question, another one is to be answered. Are we able to organize data to be preserved on the way that enables their comparison in wider community? Can they be a sufficient source of proper decisions related to heritage asset preservation, management, and use in the education of the wider population? These questions were a dominant motive for launching the joint efforts of experts from 15 countries that resulted in 3 years coordinating action financed through the EU FP7 program. It has started in September 2009 under the EU Cultural Heritage Identity Card title.
We are having the responsibility for the decision support system, which will be based on the integrated protocol of the EU-SIC, and we are going to produce guidelines for accomplishing the data in the integrated protocol, for using it, and for implementing it in the procedure of decision making. What is very important in Europe is that we have a lot of scientific research results regarding knowledge on cultural heritage monitoring, control, diagnostics and protection, meaning interventions, materials, design and planning, but we don't have an integrated management of this data. This is due to the fragmentation of research, due to the incompatibility of codes and standards among nations and Europe, and we need to go ahead to develop an integrated system to support policies, because we need proper policies and not incompatible management of monuments. In this direction, National Technical University of Athens, within the EU-SIC cooperation framework, has elaborated the decision support system. It was validated by interventions in monuments, and it gives perspectives for a future integrated and scientifically support decision making in Europe.
It is a common understanding that there is a need to collect and archive information about cultural heritage, with special reference to built heritage and monuments. In recent time, a group of experts decided to create the so-called EU-SIC project. That's basically the idea to create an identity card for European cultural heritage, with specific focus on built heritage. In order to create an identity card, we must collect information about architecture, history, technical aspects, risk management, and many other topics that are relevant in order to preserve and manage the assets. Significant efforts have been devoted by the group in order to draw the state-of-the-art all over Europe in the different sectors, with specific reference to matters regarding structural analysis, risk management, historical data, and of course the basic of the management of the built heritage. One of the relevant achievements of the EU-SIC project, in my opinion, is the information and knowledge share amongst the different experts that forms the group. There are at least two potential follow-ups of this study. The first one should be called e-SIC, that means the creation of an information system enabling researchers and managers to share both information and knowledge all over Europe. The second one is addressing the needs of risk management. This means starting from some relevant examples available in Europe, develop a common policy in order to deal with risks, both natural risk and anthropic risks.
The main elements of SIC, you can break it down to three principal problems in every aspect. This is documentation, this is monitoring, this is analysis. You need these three elements to do proper management decision every day. Of course, you need a good structure to work with your information gathered. And all these aspects are covered, and SIC showed me to all of these aspects the state-of-the-art situation now.
I think it's very useful because as I work on projects as an architect, I always need background information. I need surveys, and I need photographs and historic records, and I can never find them. And often the client doesn't give enough time to do the proper research. So I'm always wasting a lot of time. And I think with such a project like EUCHIC, in the future, this information can be more easily found.
So you think this is the most relevant aspect of EUCHIC?
For me right now, it's one of the most relevant. And we've recently conducted a user survey who would be the users of the EUCHIC results. And the users have, most of the users work across national boundaries, and they have to deal with different information systems in each country. And it creates a lot of inefficiencies in their work. If an architect from England needs to work in Spain, he has to adapt to a different information system.
So who do you think the main end users will be?
I think there's 3 different groups of end users that we've identified. We've identified people that work on cultural heritage sites, architects, engineers, site managers that impact the site and conserve it. We've identified researchers who do historic research on the site and academic papers and articles on the cultural heritage. And then there's the government and the managers and those responsible for the cultural heritage that need such a system. So there's 3 main groups of users.
So is this survey still going on?
Yes, the survey is still going on. We've really basically just started the survey, but we have some preliminary results so far, and it will be a tool rather than a result, because we want to be able to adapt the EUCHIC results to what the respondents say.
Working on the fields of preservation and conservation of cultural heritage and the theoretical and practical range, and we're teaching young people, working with professionals, attending conferences. I feel how important is such project, such initiative, such project like Identity Card. You know, we are living in a very interesting period, in a very interesting time, facing an overwhelming challenges. Economical changes, financial changes, demographic changes, cultural, climate, technological changes, globalization, and this is time when the need to support our European identity and values seems to be extremely important. On the other hand, this is the simple economical calculation, namely thanks to the cultural heritage, tourism sector generates more than 300 billion euros per year, and the market for conservation generates more than 5 billion euros per year, and many of the 9 million jobs connected with tourism in the tourism section are connected with directly or indirectly connected with cultural heritage. So we can observe the new position of culture and cultural heritage. So it has to be protected and preserved. In order to prevent them against complex risk, identity card, CHIC identity card, was created, and it will allow management, conservation, and maintenance structures of or strategies. And
Perpetuate project is also in a cluster with other projects like EU-Chic and other projects related to cultural heritage. So the goal of our project is to apply and implement the performance, the displacement-based assessment procedure used also for modern buildings to the analysis of ancient buildings. This is a complex task that needs the development of proper models for the analysis of these complex structures. So we believe that the final results of our project could be implemented and useful to EU-Chic project, in particular to the identity card developed in EU-Chic project, because in this card we could include information on the seismic vulnerability. In conclusion, we believe that for the conservation of cultural heritage, time is the key word, and because we have to apply and adopt preventive action just on time before an earthquake occurs.
I think that one of the most important added values of this project is that it brought together experts from very different fields, humanities, social, natural and technical scientists, which give the project truly multidisciplinary character. As a historian, I'm especially interested in the preservation of historical memory and values assessment of cultural heritage. These are very complex fields, dealing with a lot of data. They are already available, but very fragmented and difficult to access. It requires a lot of time and knowledge to collect and interpret them. Therefore, EU-Chic system can offer systematic knowledge base for further research work and education. For example, indication of references, primary sources, literature, for example, and indication of their storage location, archive, library, would be important platform for further historical research on particular monument and its values assessment process.
What do you think the main benefits of EU-Chic system are?
I think the main benefits are that there can be one system that's not for only one country, but it's for the whole of Europe. So you can compare data from one country to another.
So do you think the system is feasible?
I think it's feasible, yes, of course I think it's feasible, otherwise I wouldn't have participated in this. I think it's feasible, but it needs some further investigation, I think, and this is the first step.
"20 years ago already, we spoke about, in preparing a kind of research project about what was then called BICA, so the Building Identity Card, as one of the interesting aspects to organize better the information of different types on cultural heritage. And that was quite interesting for me, as involved always, as I said, in conservation and restoration practice, to have background of technical dimension for all kind of decisions we have to do. Now that EU-Chic is really working or really in execution or in realization, I find it a wonderful idea as an optimal instrument to direct for today the level of transformation which can be acceptable within conservation of historic buildings. We have the idea of historic building restoration of about when I started my career, so in the meantime 40 years ago, as a mainly archaeological way of seeing things. That means properly conserving. Of course, you cannot conserve as a kind of museum object a building, because there are a lot of other needs, and that gives sometimes realizations of transformation which are not always still related with the authentic building. And SCHIC should collect all information which is useful to constrain and to synthesize the decisions from architects, but end users and also financing bodies of what is acceptable for adaptation on modern needs and safety, and what should be preserved as an authentic material and structure. And this could give to decision makers a kind of instrument or tool to discuss not on an emotional and sentimental level, but measure things. At what level, how much percentage of material can be exchanged, what can you take away. Of course, it is not always possible to measure that in square meter or cubic meter, but anyway, it gives us instruments of decision. And for that reason, I think that SCHIC is an excellent instrument for the beginning of this kind of discussions to protect also the quality of the historic buildings.
The proposed SCHIC concept and protocol is an attempt to develop open system that can work also beyond the project time through its application and regular upgrading, learning from its efficiency in practice. What is important, it is based in existing national and international experience gained from development of application and similar systems. I would say it is strong support to decision-making procedures, which are very complex in cultural heritage preservation and maintenance. We are aiming to contribute to simplification of comparison general data of cultural assets and international exchange of knowledge and experience gained from heritage preservation.
Not many professionals or craftsmen are trained properly in the conservation, repair and maintenance of the heritage. And to do that, educators and trainers also need SCHIC-based material. I think it is a unique project in that so many countries have agreed to contribute to the build-up of this concerted action. And I look forward to seeing the results coming through. There is clearly much still to do after the project is completed, but the base material that is available from the project will be of considerable benefit to all that are involved in this area of activity.